Hey there guys, it's me Malorian, and it's time for another Warmachine battle report. This one here is going to be one where I talk to Resistance Radio. It is a new Mercenaries podcast. They mainly, deal with Llaelese, but they kind of deal with everything Mercenaries. And I was like, all right, this is a challenge. I got Sturgis. I'm not telling you anything else about the list. You make the list to face me, and then I'll play it out. So that's what this game's going to be. So it's going to be, in the end here, Sturgis versus MacBain. So really interesting lists on both sides. That's why I really like doing this whole thing where I'm challenging other content creators. I mean, not only is it a thing where, hey, I get to shout out all this other great stuff that's out there, but as well, I get to see these neat lists that I might not think of making myself. So to start things off, what does Sturgis have? Well, Sturgis, I tried to make kind of interesting here, and I went with a Storm Division list. Now, this one here has a Stormwall, it has the Lances, it has the Stormblade, I got a Storm Strider, there's the Junior there with another Firefly. Sturgis has his own Firefly, so Lightning and Knights, and the main idea here is that I want to be able to shoot things as they come in, and then once they do come in, smash them. I mean, the nice thing about Sturgis's feat is that he basically makes everything threat an extra 3 inches, so that can really help land a lot of these things. In this theme, remember that all the Storm Knights have unyielding, so especially since I have double Arcane Shield in here, what I can do is have Arcane Shield up onto the Knights, Arcane Shield up onto the Stormblades, and then basically they're going to be +5 armor between those two buffs once it comes to combat. As well, I also got Snipe, so that's going to really help me shoot and pull things in, and yeah, should be really great, except that what I'm facing will not be that great. So let's kind of talk about that. Alright, so that MacBain list that Resistance Radio made for me has a lot of things I didn't want to deal with. So it is a Llaelese list, and there's going to be some proxies here, so I'll let you know as I go through. But it's going to be MacBain, 2 Toros, 2 Swabbers. I only own 1 Swabber, so the one clamp guy there, the freebooter, that's going to be the second Swabber. Otherwise, I have the Menoth Choir in the back, and you know how I said I was all dealing about like shooting and pulling you in? Yeah, that's gonna be tough when I can't shoot you, so yeah, that'll be fun. There's also gonna be 2 Midnight Archons. I only own 1 Midnight Archon, so the little fairy thing, yeah, that's the second one. Otherwise, I got a whole bunch of things like Blith and Bull, Terran, we got Gibbs. Up front there, we actually have some Daughters, another unit I don't own, and so their whole purpose is, of course, just to run up there and put up countermeasures. But again, they also have anatomical precision, and that super crazy armor I was talking about? Yeah, that's pretty bad for it. So looking at this matchup from the Sturgis side, well, you know what? Let's not even do that. We're going to do that from this side. Looking at it from this side, boy, it looks great. We can go up there and we can shut down the shooting as we go up with the jacks. And we also threaten further, because even though Sturgis can pull things in 3 inches, well, if they do that, that really means that things like the Stormwall threaten 13 inches. And meanwhile, if on our side, we want to threat a long way, we can run, we can energize her, and we can threaten 14 inches. So, yeah, the gun thing is kind of gone, and it's just going to be kind of bad. So, really what this really means for MacBain is that he can play a super happy time going up the board here, playing it safe, and then fighting it out when it comes up. So we'll see what happens, but just looking at this here, I'm liking MacBain. Alright, well, Sturgis got the role to go first, and this is actually another time where Anastasia didn't matter. Anastasia's ambushing there on the side, didn't matter, Sturgis still won it. But we got the Arcane Shield on the 2 Knight units like we were talking about it. The right unit there, the actual, Lances, they're the prey of Blith and Bull. And then otherwise, I got Snipe on the Stormwall, and all I can really do is go up there and kind of threaten the best I can. Yeah, I mean, really what this is going to come down to is that I'm going to have to try and find a way to jam and set up the Stormwall. But the problem is that with MacBain's feat, he can definitely get it there installed because I have no way to do grievance. So if you don't know what's going on with MacBain's feat, Yeah, let's just quickly do that because probably these are two feats that a lot of people don't know. So Sturgis's feat is that all enemy models in his control are pushed 3 inches directly towards him, and then all enemy models ending 3 inches of him take out like a POW 12 magical damage roll. And then for every model he kills, he gets to put a focus on a jack in his battle group. MacBain, on the other side, gets a D6 plus 5 warrior models that basically have infinity tough. So if they're ever destroyed, they just automatically heal 1 box and they're knocked down. So it's not even tough where if they're already knocked down, they don't get it. They just keep on healing that 1 point forever. And so if you're on, let's say, an Archon that can't be knocked down, that's pretty good. And like I said, I have no grievance over here to stop healing, so that's going to be a real problem. So I'm just trying to get up there, threaten as much as I can, maybe try and look for an opening. There's the potential of an assassination where I can actually try and set it up where I'm pulling 1 jack out of the line and then making an opening to shoot through. But yeah, you just got to kind of do what you can. Alright, meanwhile, on the other side, what MacBain does is just plays things safe. So on the left side, that thing that used to be a hill is now a cloud. The circle that's there is the free rubble that Llaelese get to put down. And so basically the left side, they just move back so that they're not in charge range. Going up with the jacks that say, you can't shoot me, and yeah, kind of holding things back as well. So the spells I get out there is I have Fortune up onto the right Menite Archon, I have countermeasures up onto the Daughters, of course, and then on the left Toro, it has failsafe, so +2 armor, and ignores any systems that are out. So again, all I need to really do is slowly plot up, and I can always explode in there whenever I want. So Sturgis side, basically if I want to try and do something, I have to try and make something happen like this. So what I do is I run in the knights, the lances. They're able to get 1 actual charge off onto the Toro, do a tiny bit of damage. Then otherwise, I just run up the Stormstrider on the right so that it is both in my zone and contesting the flag. It's going to get blinded by Gorman, but hey, if I can be scoring points and stopping MacBain from scoring points, sure, I'll take whatever I can. Otherwise, I go up there with the Stormwall. I'm putting down those 2 covering fires to stop the Daughters from getting anywhere too nasty and slaughtering me. And otherwise, I'm just trying to get up there and trying to see if there's going to be some sort of opening. So trying to set up some sort of assassination. Again, this is a situation where I think like in a tournament, I might be a little bit more hopeful because like it'd be something like, oh, okay, they don't know what Sturgis does. I can maybe surprise them with something, but the him is me, so there'll be no surprises here. So on the MacBain side, all I need to really do then is try and do my best to clear it and stay safe. So what I do is, starting on the left side, is I go up there and I have to clear myself out first. So between Anastasia charging in and going after the knight that actually had engaged me, and then attacking it with the stuff that was right here in front, I was able to actually kill that knight that was right there in front of me. So that was awesome. Blind the Strider on the left. In order to make this all work, I had first gone over with the Menite Archon and hit those knights, which takes off the upkeep. So that's another problem with this, is that a lot of what Sturgis wants to do is upkeeps, and then you have Dispel on the Menite Archon. So that makes them a lot easier to kill. And talking about that, once that was cleared up, Bull was able to shoot 1 down. The jacks are going in there and killing them. And as you can see here, yeah, every single Stormlance was killed. Meanwhile, I didn't get a lot else done. I feeded, so the feat targets, I got quite a few of them. So all my Daughters are super tough. Both Menite Archons are super tough. And I believe I also put it on to I got 1 more. It was on Gorman as well, just because, he's pretty important. Otherwise, I'm staying super safe, right? I'm trying to make an important wall up there. The Daughters and the 1 Menite Archon are up there just to kind of block things down. The jacks are up there threatening. I'm set up to be scoring the right zone, or at least I would, except I didn't wasn't able to kill that one knight that's in the zone, no big deal. But yeah, you can see that Magnus is staying back, staying super safe. So given that, there's not a lot of chance that I'll be assassinated. So with this here, so on this turn, the actual scoring will be on Sturgis' side because they score their rectangular zone. But yeah, even though scenario just went to Sturgis a tiny bit, it's still not that great. All right, so coming back over here to Sturgis then, not much I can really do. So basically my options are I can stay there with the Stormwall and a lot of my forces and just get slaughtered, or I can pull back, contest, and just kind of hope for the best. So that's what I'm really going to be doing here. The Stormstrider moves over because it's blinded, so I can't really do much. So it's still contesting. I just want to get away from like Jax killing me. And then otherwise, I try and make my attacks where I can to knock things down, contest the zones. So I'm going to score my zone again, making it 2-0. I didn't want to lose anything onto my flag yet. It didn't seem to be really worth it. But again, all I can do now is still wait for some sort of opening. At least I have the scenario lead, so I have this ability to stay back and try and wait for something to go my way. But, I mean, on the other side here, there's no reason to keep on pushing. So, basically, Anastasia goes in a zone. The rest of the things on the left are just blinding the Strider again, picking away at it, trying to take it down eventually. Otherwise, just, again, trying to be careful here where I'm staying outside the 13-inch potential threat of the Stormwall and just making a line and saying, okay, I can't score my flag, but I'm going to contest your things, and I'll score my right zone, I'll score the center zone, I'll kill the things that were there in the middle, and there you go. So, you know, even though I no longer have my feet, the daughters are still up there causing lots of problems. The men at Archons, which could have gone in and done more work, are holding back because I'm in a superior position over here. I do not need to be aggressive. Even though I was down on scenario, this is going to make scenario even. And past this point, I'm up on attrition, and basically Sturgis needs to come into me. So with that then, I basically, again, do the best I can, contesting zones, trying to kill everything that was here in front of me. A big thing I really tried to do that just did not work out for me is I tried to actually kill off the Menite Archon on the left, but just could not do it. I mean, there was the one shield guard there with the Swabber, so that took out one of the big shots, but I mean, when you're needing a boost to hit because it's basically defense 15 with how it has concealment, yeah, just not a lot of things are hitting and hard to do a lot of damage. So again, I did the best I could, contesting zones where I could. We're each going to score our own flags this time, so now it's 3-3, but this definitely isn't going Sturgis's way. So going back over here to MacBain, it is time for getting some value. Thanks to some big spikes, the Stormstrider goes down. So that means all of a sudden I can score my flag and the, Sturgis rectangular zone. So that's bad. Scoring the center, scoring my own rectangular zone, charging in there, doing damages with the Menite Archons and just contesting and yeah, going up 4 points now and being like, okay, it's now 7-3. You have to go in now and try and do something. And so what I try and do, because I know it's hopeless, is that basically I try and kill off the 2 Menite Archons. But I can't even do that. The one Archon here on the right, I just flub some attacks with the Stormwall, and it just doesn't happen. So in the end, it is going to be a scenario win for MacBain. And it's an interesting one. It's one where it's really tough. I'm trying to make a list for Sturgis that will be interesting and going in. But then all of a sudden, when you have that strategy where I'm going to shoot you and force you into my range, and then you can't shoot, that really falls apart. And it actually kind of reminds me of actually the last one we did as well, where we had the last game that we had was Striker 3, where basically it was designed to shoot you, force you in, and then really hit you hard after that. But because that shooting advantage wasn't there to force you in, well, then it didn't work out. So I'm actually starting to wonder if that's sort of a a theory to list making is maybe not valid anymore. The whole idea that I'm going to have big guns that force you into my range. There's just so many things out there now that of course can shut down shooting or outshoot you, that it really is something where you're kind of splitting the idea of your force half and half between shooting hard and hitting hard, and then if the first part doesn't work out, you don't get the second part and you're in a lot of trouble. But anyway, as always, it was great to play a game, even if it was a solo game. Great to be working with Resistance Radio. If you haven't checked them out, I wish I could have put you like a Facebook page or something like that for you. They are on the Muse network, so you can find their stuff there. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, please post them down below. And otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye.